Mr. Gillespie, you sure you're all right?
What are you talking about?
I have orders, sir. All officers to patrol in pairs.
I'm not an officer.
Oh, well, that's not the point. These corridors are dangerous. You said so yourself. You need an escort.
Any amusing?
I don't think so. Nor the union.
Oh?
You may be able to bully the inmates, but you can't bully us. There are regulations about compulsory overtime, and all the officers have done more than the regulations permit. I'm going to take it to the union.
You do that, Mrs. Powell. Now, if you'll excuse me.
Mr. Gillespie, we'll go with you. Can't ignore the rules.
To the Ombudsman. We wish to complain about the following. Gillespie? Yeah. As you know, Judy Bryant escaped because of one Mr. Gillespie. We are all still suffering. Gillespie is a
tyrant?
Good one. Tyrant. Who is making everyone's life a misery. He's told the officers to shoot for the heart.
Oh, come on, Beat. We're not too sure about that. It mightn't be true.
Doesn't matter if it's true or not. Gillespie also plays favourites. There's a girl in C Block who did him a favour.
Hey, go slow. Do you reckon they'll know what favour means?
You want me to spell it out?
What's going on?
Oh, we're just writing a letter to the Ombudsman. We're allowed to tell him about our complaints. It says so in the rule book.
Quite, if your complaints are legitimate.
Yeah, but how would you know if they were or they weren't?
I know, girlie.
What do you know?
That you've very little to complain about at Wentworth.
That's a matter of opinion.
Lies will only make you look bad, so I suggest you forget
Thanks
about that
for the
letter.
suggestion, but we'll send the letter anyway.
At your own peril.
Do you reckon he heard?
Did you see his face?
I thought he was going to have a bloody stroke.
Oh, I reckon we're on a goer, girls.
Hello?
Meg, it's Jim Fletcher.
What on earth do you want?
Look, I'm really sorry. I know you've got the morning off, but Kath phoned in sick.
And you want me to cover for her?
Well, would you mind? I wouldn't ask, except that...
Jim, I would mind. I've made important arrangements for this morning.
Well, couldn't you change them?
No, I couldn't. I'll see you later today.
What was all that about?
Oh, it's Jim Fletcher who wanted me to cover for this morning's shift.
It's a bit unreasonable, isn't it?
Oh, say.
Well, come on, you hop back into bed. I'm going to make the breakfast.
Come in.
Birdsworth wants to see you, Mrs. Davidson.
Yes, Lizzie, what is it?
Oh, Mrs. D, you look tired. You've been working overtime like everybody else.
Never mind about that, Lizzie. What is it you want?
Well, this is for the Ombudsman. It's all present and correct. Miss Bennett gave me the envelope.
Yes, Lizzie, that's right, all right. Now, I want you to sign this book. You will receive acknowledgement the Ombudsman has the letter, and then you will be required to sign the book again.
When's that likely to be?
Oh, within the next few days.
When do you reckon he'll get round to doing something about it?
Well, it will be at least 2 weeks.
2 weeks? What's he got to do all day except read letters and...
Very busy. I'm sure he'll get onto this matter as soon as he can.
Oh, suppose he's working overtime like everybody else. All right, I won't hold me breath.
Miss Bennett, would you see that this letter goes with the afternoon mail?
Yes, Mrs. Davidson. Come on, Birdsworth.
Yes, Mrs. Powell.
There's a police officer to see Doreen Burns.
Oh, yes. Would you bring him in here and then fetch Burns?
Of course.
Everything go according to plan? Too right. Hey, Rita, keep knit.
Well, now what happens?
We'll give it till after lunchtime.
But the letters don't go out till the Savo's post. Do you reckon that gives Gillespie time to fiddle with them?
After what he's heard, he's going to be on the lookout.
So I go down to Davo's office office and tell her that I've changed my mind about complaining and get the letter back.
Right, and I bet you $1 to a brick it's been replaced with a typewritten one complaining about the food or something.
Yeah, but Lizzie signed it and he can't forge her signature.
Well, the signature will just be a scrawl. Could be anyone's.
Yeah, well, I still don't get it, B.
When we get the letter back, the one Gillespie's replaced Lizzie's with, we take it to Davo and tell her the whole story.
You reckon she'll believe us?
Well, if she doesn't, we'll get Powell in. She heard us writing last night and she knows what's in the real letter. So if Gillespie's fiddled with it, it's curtains. He's committed an offence. Goodbye, Gillespie.
Oh, and I reckon we'll have something to celebrate with because my home brew's coming along real well.
Girls, back to work.
Roll out the barrel. We'll have a barrel of the...
You want it in the governor's office?
What for?
Well, how would I know? Come on.
It's cops, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Hurry up.
Don't worry, love. Stick to your story. You'll be all right.
Come in.
Doreen Burns, Mrs. Davidson.
Sit down, Doreen. Thank you, Mrs. Powell. That will be all for the moment. Doreen, this is Sergeant Parker.
Pleased to meet you, Mrs. Burns.
Yeah.
You do know what this is all about, don't you? Your bank account. Now, I'll tell you the facts as I know them, and then you can tell us all about it, okay? Acting on information received from Mrs. Davidson, I proceeded to the Union Bank where you have your savings account. I was informed by one of the clerks that a woman calling herself Doreen Burns and disguised to look like you had withdrawn $3,000 from your account. I was also shown the withdrawal slip. It was a pretty good imitation of your signature. Now, what do you say to that?
Wasn't me.
We do know that. Who do you suppose it was?
Well, this girl on the outside. I mean, I met this girl on the outside.
Go on.
Well, she looked a bit like me. Well, quite a lot, really. Anyway, she knew that I had the money, so it could have been her, because she'd seen my signature and everything.
What was her name?
Julie. Julie Christie.
Julie Christie. And you're pretty sure it was her who withdrew the money from your account?
Could have been.
Or it could have been anyone.
Yeah, I suppose so.
But you knew yesterday the money had gone from the bank. If you knew that, you must know who took it.
Who was it, Doreen?
Look, the money was mine, wasn't it?
That's correct.
Well, I can do whatever I like with it.
It was stolen by false pretenses.
Yeah, but it was still mine. And if I don't want to lay a charge...
It's a police matter, Burns. Forging a signature for gain is a criminal offence, and we want to know who did it. Withholding information is also a criminal offence, and you can be charged.
Excuse me, Sergeant. Doreen, you are already facing the court on 2 counts. Surely you don't want to add a 3rd to the list.
Well, what was her name? I asked you a question.
Shove it.
Burns?
I don't care what you say. When I go to trial, they're going to throw the book at me anyway. So what's a few more months?
You'll regret this. But if you tell me now...
I won't. I'm not lagging on a mate.
What's this?
A letter to the Ombudsman. As you can see, it's been...
Oh, yes. Birdsworth's complaint, I imagine.
I assume so.
You read it?
Of course not. Letters to the Ombudsman are confidential.
Not curious about what Birdsworth's complaint might be?
It's not a matter of curiosity. It's against the law to read such a letter.
Libel's also against the law.
What do you mean?
Well, in plain terms, this letter's full of lies. You can bet your career on it. I would have thought, as an officer who knows her duty, you'd want to protect yourself and your colleagues from that sort of libel.
I've got nothing to hide.
Even the best officers have had their careers ruined by accusations like this. Even if the charge remains unproved, the mud sticks.
But you can't. It's to the Ombudsman.
Gillespie?
Miss Bennett warned him not to open the letter, but he went ahead anyway.
Fine, Ted. You've stated the facts. Now, how about having a look at the letter?
I'm no more entitled to read that than you are.
You might feel differently if it was blackening your character. Look, I overheard Birdsworth and Smith talking about it. It hinted at gross impropriety on my
That
part.
has nothing to do with it. You would have had a chance to clear yourself.